So this video is kind of addressing this level of frustration I think people are feeling. People who have been in the quote unquote truth movement for many, many years, maybe decades, and they see what's happening with this COVID and how they've used it to roll out basically almost like a soft martial law. And they're really despondent about it. They're feeling like, oh, it's over. They've got us where they want us, and they're basically going to just exercise more and more of this control. I want I want to just address that for a second because what I want to point out is that the controllers lost already. Okay, they have already lost. Now our system is, like I said, we're on a couple different timelines here. We're on an old system timeline where they were going to try to exact complete control over the population, and it would be like a slave owner type relationship. Everything would be monitored, everything would be um, controlled. They have tried to do this for a long time. They've been trying to do this with our smartphones, with our internet, with the way our everything, the entertainment industry, all these different industry, all these different financial system, education system. They've been doing this forever, and this is just the latest rollout of it. Okay, but this time they've exposed themselves, completely exposed themselves. Like I was just saying, everything is laid out on the table. We're getting to see the enemy, and we're getting to see them very clearly. This is the first time that's happened. There's people that have done conspiracy stuff for years, and I followed David Icke a lot when I first started to kind of wake up. And, he lays it all out, how all the royals are connected and all these bloodlines, and he talks about all this stuff. And this is just the latest version of their program they're trying to roll out, and it's failing miserably. Okay, that's what I want to point out. It's not succeeding. If it was succeeding, we would be a completely crashed economy, which we're not. People are still at the store, they're still purchasing things. Yes, it sucks in terms of our normal operations. We've definitely taken some economic blows, and it will take time to recover, but it's not dead. And had people just started falling over dead from this COVID, young, healthy people falling over dead, it would have scared people so bad they would have given up every bit of freedom they had for to be protected. That's not what happened. That's not what's happening. I've seen these people at the hospital. I've seen the people who are sick. They're metabolically unstable, okay? These are not healthy people to begin with. These are people who are obese, diabetes, metabolic instability, like I talked about in my other video. They wanted this COVID to be this was supposed to be the thing that was supposed to cause um, it was the final chapter of our subjugation, okay? Our subjugation has been going on for hundreds, if not thousands of years. The human spirit, human beings have been subjugated for a long time. This was to be the capstone, okay? This was to be the capstone. And you can see the preparation for it in the the entertainment industry, the media, the symbols. They're throwing out all the symbology, all of they're just throwing it in our face all the time. All of these music videos and all the stuff that's out now, even just regular TV shows, they're always pushing that stuff out. And it's because they were pre-paving for this New World Order. They were pre-paving for this subjugation. But you can see the breakdown start to happen with the European Union. It started to break down. You had Brexit, and now you have the Italians are starting to rise up. The French are starting to rise up. You're seeing this escape from this grip. They were real close. Okay, they were real close, and the attack on the United States is to break this country, to weaken this country. But it happened, it was too little, too late. They couldn't they needed Hillary Clinton in office, number one. They couldn't do it without her in office. And even though they couldn't do it, they still have to play it out because that's what they had. They had it lined up. It's like a failed 9/11, okay? 9/11 accomplished some really great goals. But 9/11 really didn't wake people up like this is. It did wake up a lot of people, but not like this. This is a mass awakening. This is the Great Awakening. We're witnessing it in real time. So what I'm trying to say is don't get despondent, don't feel down because the the worst is yet to come. We haven't seen the worst of it yet. There's going to be an exposure. We are being protected and helped. We're being assisted, but it's not going to be coming from the federal government. It's not going to be a check in our account. It's going to be on a spiritual level. We're being guided, we're being protected, and we have to focus on, we have to turn inward and we have to turn to our inner self, our inner light, the God given divine light within us. Turn to that for our illumination. Don't turn to the outside things for illumination. Because what will happen is these outside things will overwhelm our psyche. Okay. Last night I woke up in the middle of the night and it's such a contrast. The night before, I woke up at like 1 or 2 in the morning and I just laid there thinking about how can I be more of a light? How can I be more connected to God? And that's what I thought about until I went back to sleep. Last night I woke up and I started thinking about the pedophilia and the Satanism and just a lot of negative stuff going through my head. It was awful. And but it's this, you're getting you're shifting, we're shifting paradigms. We're shifting from that control system paradigm to a Christ conscious paradigm. And it's happening in real time. We're getting to witness it in real time. And it's quite an amazing adventure, really. And of course we want safety and security and all that first. And it's our, we can maintain that as much as we can. There's a certain amount we can't control. I mean, if they ran out of food at the grocery store, we're going to be in trouble. Um, but I do believe we're being protected right now, and I think this was meant to be much worse. So don't get down, don't feel low, stay off of social media if it's starting to bother you. I have to be very careful with social media. I have to be very, very careful. And like I look at Twitter a lot, and Twitter is an echo chamber. I mean, you pick people you like, you get rid of people you don't. But overall, I've gotten a lot of good information from people that I've found on Twitter. Um, just all kinds of people. Liz Crokin, I would never have known about her. There's Tiffany Fitzhenry. I never would have known about her. She's great. She's revealing a lot of information. There's a lot of good positive stuff. But just be careful. It's not worth sacrificing your mind over. And I used to do Art of Living, which was Panditji was the name of the guy. He was an offshoot from Maharishi. It was an offshoot from TM, more of a heart-based system. Not like heartfulness, but it was more heart based. And he would say, protect your mind at all costs. And that's really what we're at a place right now where we have to protect our mind at all costs because what what happens is they use our they use our survival instinct against us. And we can start taking back our power by connecting to our survival instinct. We should have an ability to tap into our survival instinct without going into a fight or flight mode, and that's the true power. If you know any, I learned through jujitsu, but when people get really advanced at jujitsu, they don't go into fight or flight anymore. When you first start doing it, it's almost impossible not to. You'll go into a fight or flight response because you're just not used to being in that kind of physical contact with someone in an aggressive way, and be relaxed and calm, and neutralize your energy. Just make yourself real neutral and soft, and you're able to just, it's amazing. I mean, these people that can really do jujitsu, the black belts, are it takes 10 years to get your black belt or longer. So by the time you get that level, I mean, I'm a neophyte. I didn't even have a belt. I just did it, for fun. But um, being able to stay in a calm state of mind while you're in the activity, and this is something that we are basically working with in our meditation, and we should be taking from our meditation to some degree, is this ability to detach, to have a healthy detachment from things. And it's something we need to work on. It's interesting. I was listening to Sean Baker, and he was talking about how he knew this guy that lost his legs and got blown up in the war, and he ended up becoming a marathon runner and achieving all these high level activities and goals. And it's so interesting how we're so completely focused on achieving these. It's good to have goals, physical goals. It's good to have, financial goals and create stabilization, and all that. But we just so hyper focus on that stuff. It becomes so incredibly important, right? But think about the person who can transmit. I mean, think about the person who can be a window for this godly energy. Think about the power of that. My God, think about Kamlesh, he's, I mean, he's able to transmit to infinite number of people at the same time. How does he do that? I mean, how's that even possible? And yet that's what's happening. And these masters that have ascended, they call it the brighter world, and they're transmitting to us also. All we have to do is open up to that godly energy. That's all we have to do. But it's it's almost like we're more concerned with our hair and nails and getting our bank account right, and I mean all that stuff has its place, right? But the Sahaj Marg prayer is where it really is, where oh Lord, Thou art the true goal of human life. You know, we are yet but slaves to our wishes, holding bar to our advancement. These material things are actually holding bar to our advancement. If they're not setting us free, they're holding bar. And um, you are the only God in power that can take us to that stage. God is the only thing that can take us to that higher level. You know, all these outside things can only take us so far. We can only get so far with it, right? And it's kind of like in the movie Star Wars when Obi-Wan gets killed, and um, you know, he basically says later that, I became more powerful than you can believe, by leaving the physical body. And if we got the right spiritual training, the right mental attitude, then we can achieve these higher levels of consciousness, which is so far beyond anything in the world, so beyond this fear-based model of living. It's a level of ecstasy, a level of creation, a fountain of godly energy. And we can all become that. We can all become these fountains of godly energy. That's what, doesn't that sound beautiful? Doesn't it sound wonderful? Think about all the human beings on the planet and just this godly, loving energy just pouring through them, natural law, godly order, just establishing itself as it should. All these fake facades of reality falling away. And we're just this bright, shiny being of light, just offering love, not forcing anything. It's just flowing through us, like a spring coming up out of the ground. Not forcing anything, it's just offering, just an offering. And and think about the beauty of that. I mean, that is so much more. Even, I mean, having lots of money and having fancy houses and cars and having all these amazing things physically pales compared to that. It's like it's like it's just like glittery glitter. It just it means nothing. Like confetti, it just means nothing compared to that. Being at that level of godly manifestation. I mean, my God, that's just unreal, right? Anyway, just some thoughts. Keep your heads up. It's going to get better. Bye.